Hello, I'm Czardus. Grab some coffee, sit back, and chill as we build in Timberborn. Today is going to be the ultimate beginner's guide to Timberborn. So this is still an early access, but I think most of the game that is probably going to be at the start of the game that you need to learn if you're a brand new player to Timberborn is going to be in the game. We're version 0.7, update 7 is out, as you can see here. And so I think a lot of stuff here is going to be pretty stable. So we can go ahead and do the beginner's guide and take a look at this. Now, Timberborn, you have two factions. There's the Iron Teeth and the Folktales. If you are a brand new player, you will not have unlocked the Iron Teeth yet. So we're going to play as the Folktales. They are easygoing but hardworking, and their motto is comfort, food, and sturdy wood. Okay, let's go ahead and go in here. Then you can click and pick out your map. These three are the beginner-friendly ones, as you can see by the leaf there. We have lakes, plains, and waterfalls. I like these big ones because they give you lots of stuff to work with, but we'll go ahead and we'll do the small one just because I feel like that will probably allow us to get a little bit farther along maybe. And then we'll go ahead and do easy. I recommend that if you are new, you should do easy as well. And so we'll do that so that I can walk you through on everything here. Let's go ahead and start. So when it loads up, you have to call your settlement something. I'm just going to call it beginner guide for my own reference, but let's go ahead and hit start. And what you see here is we have the beavers are out. I'm going to pause so that we can talk about some things. This is your district center. This is kind of like the center of your little village of beavers. And you've got workers here. They're going to move your goods around. We're going to go ahead and say that I want 2 more workers there. So we're going to have 4 beavers immediately working on moving things around. And I'm going to turn off the tutorial because I'll walk you through the things myself. And you can use this if you build more than one district, which you can imagine that a district is kind of like a little settlement. And you can have different settlements on your map. You can have one over there, and you could have another district over here. And the beavers will stay within their district. They won't go from district to district. And if you want to transfer goods from one to the other, you need to click on the district. Or there are some things later in the game, I think, that you can use to transfer. But that is not what we'll talk about today. You have starting goods of berries and water, and that's also kind of your clue of the things that you need to stockpile. Because one unique thing about Timberborn is that there are different cycles, and there's a drought cycle and a water cycle. So like you have a dry period and a wet period. Right now we're in the wet period. You can see the water flows in from off the map here, and it makes its way down the stream and out this way. So that is the good water. The bad water is over here, and this is like polluted. That, in a sense, is what has created this world where humans are gone and the beavers have taken over. And the bad water is polluted. It comes down here and goes out this way. And there's some things that you can do to mitigate the bad water. But then you can see we have green terrain here. That is terrain that has been watered from this water source. And then we have brown terrain, which is dry and does not have enough water to grow anything. So anything you grow needs to be in green terrain. And so you need to stockpile before the drought period begins. And what you need to do is you need to get enough berries and water stored to make it through the drought period. So the first thing we're going to do is start to collect berries. We'll come in here and we'll go to paths and structures and then select a path and just bring it right out from the district center. And I think we'll bring it there, and eventually maybe we'll get a bridge there. But for now, we'll have that where it is. And then we can go over to food and we can click gatherer flag, and we're just going to rotate that with R and put it here. And that will build like instantly, pretty much. I think somebody will have to come over and build it. And then somebody will be assigned to start gathering the berries. Then we will need a place to store them. So let's go ahead and go to storage, and we'll get a small warehouse. Actually, we'll do a medium warehouse. And I want to put that over here, away from the area that we will probably want to farm. And so I've put it there, and then we can click paths, and we have to connect that to a path. And then we can click on it and go over here, click on the question mark, and go to berries. So that will start to collect berries when they have a chance. Now we're also going to need wood. Right now we have no logs, and this will require 15 logs to build. So what we want to do is we want to bring our path farther back here, and we do have some wood back here that can be taken down. I think there's some power in here. There's a tiny bit of logs out of that. We'll salvage that. We'll eventually probably turn this into our logging area, but for now, let's go ahead and have them cut down these trees out here. So we go to cut trees and then mark tree cutting area. And if I clicked up here, I would be on the second level, and you can see that's not getting anything there. So I want to not have that area. We'll unmark the tree cutting area there. And then I want to make sure I'm clicking on the same elevation as what we have there. And I'm going to just go ahead and mark all of this for the tree cutting area, so the trees can be cut down. It will not cut down the berries. The berry gatherer will automatically gather from any berries in that area. But to cut down the trees, we have to go into wood and click the lumberjack flag as well. And if we put this lumberjack, well, we'll just put him over here for now, and he can start on that. So that will get us berries going and wood. And for water collection, we need to get a water pump. And we'll put the water pump right over here. We'll put it there. And then, of course, we need to get the path connected like that. And we need storage for water. And water storage, we have not unlocked the medium tank, so we'll just put 2 small tanks here, and those will also take wood. So now let's go ahead and unpause and let that stuff get built. You can see I've sped up the game, and the beavers are coming over here. There's now a beaver working on getting the berries, and he has gotten some, and now he's going out to get more. The storage facility is not getting built yet, but we are collecting the wood, and then it is coming over here. And in the meantime, while all of that is getting going, let's go ahead and bring our path out this way, and we can plan out our more permanent log production over here. So what I want to do is we'll get another lumberjack here, and I actually want to put it on this side. Put it right there. And then I want to put a large pile here, because the wood can get stored there, and we'll click on it and go over here and go to logs. And then we can tell them to, we already told them to cut the trees down. So now somebody is working over here, and immediately we'll start to cut down those. And of course we need some logs to build that log pile. But we have our storage for berries is done, and our water is getting worked on. And then we will have just 1 beaver unemployed. Oh, we've got 2 beavers unemployed. I think somebody grew up. Yep, Damari grew up. And we are collecting a little bit more. We're making progress. So now we've got this water. Damari is at work collecting water from there, pumping it out. And our storage facility here did not get selected. So we click on that question mark and then water. We'll go ahead and do that for this one too. So they will start to deliver water to the small tank and fill it up. Then the beavers have places to eat and drink. Now you can see they don't have anywhere to sleep. So right now they're just sleeping outside. Comfort is very low when they sleep outside, and they will not breed, I believe. I don't remember quite for sure if that has changed since the even earlier stages of this game, but that's the way I remember it. So anyway, we're going to build a lodge. This will sleep 3. We have 12 in total, so we need 4 of these. We'll go 1, 2, and then we'll rotate them over this way. 3 and 4. Actually, this is not the most efficient design that I could have done, but we'll go ahead with the way it is. And then that will get them all housed, and it is not connected by any paths. So of course we'll come in and we'll get some paths here. And that will get both of these connected, and then we won't have capacity for more though. So I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get 2 more in like that, and of course get the paths here. And then I'm going to bring the path down like that. So that will be our little bit of housing there. And you can see up here on the top left, our well-being now has a score of 1 because we have fulfilled hunger, thirst, and sleep. And we are not losing all of those points from shelter because some of them have shelter. Eventually, to unlock the Iron Teeth, you have to get up to a well-being of 15 points while playing the Folk Tales. I've already done that, so it shows progress, but that's kind of your goal at this stage, is to get to 15 by providing these different things. And we'll talk more about those as we go along. Okay, so we have enough shelter for everybody, and we got to well-being of 4. So now we're going to start thinking, okay, well, what else can we provide them? Well, first we want to get more food, I think. So to get more food, what we want to do is go to food, and we can create an efficient farmhouse. That is going to take logs to build. We're going to put it over here, and then we're still preserving as much of the, actually we'll put it here, preserving as much of the greenery as we can. And to plant the crops, we come back over here to plant crops, and we will start with carrots because they only take a little bit of time, 4 days, and then we get 3 of them. And we'll go ahead and do a nice big area here. So that will get the crops going. And then of course we need storage for that. So we'll go ahead and get a medium storage facility. And that one, I think we'll go ahead and put right here. Click on it and go to carrots. So we want carrots here. And once this is built, we've got workers on it. Very good. They're going ahead and planting. Now, the other thing is that we will eventually cut down all of these trees. And then we either have to find more, which we do have more over here, or we will need to plant more. And to plant more, we need to get a forester. There's 2 things we have to do before we can get a forester. 1, we have to create a lumber mill to turn it into planks because the forester requires planks to build. And 2, we need to unlock it with research. Research you get from science, and we can build an inventor who will slowly generate research points. We'll go ahead and put an inventor, well, let's put them over here actually. That will require logs and a worker, of course, but eventually we're going to run out of workers. But you can see that we have 2 children now, so we are slowly breeding and getting more. And then the other thing is the lumber mill. A lumber mill requires power. It requires 50 horsepower to build it, and 50 horsepower we can get through either a water wheel, which will generate 135 horsepower constantly, or a power wheel, which will require a beaver to work there and keep running on the wheel to generate the power. So what we want to do is ideally do the water wheel, and of course it will take 50 wood lumber for that. So, or not lumber, but logs. And we've got our researcher there. You can see we are generating a little bit of science at a time. So to get our water wheel, what we want to do is we want to find the water flowing, and we've got water flowing here. So we'll go ahead and say, let's build a water wheel over here, and let's put it, let's see here. If we put this here, then what we're going to do is we're going to be able to have the lumber mill right there, but that's going to block our little bit of the road. So I think what we'll do is we'll put it angled here. No, we'll keep it like here. We'll put it right here, and then we can bring the path along this way. So that will go there, and then we, of course, need to get the water wheel in here, and you can either connect it directly to the building, or you can put it farther away and then use a power shaft to connect it to a building. And we're just going to go ahead and put it right next to it. Now, this icon is saying you don't have power for that, so that's why we are getting this water wheel going. And we've got a lot of logs, and we're making really good progress on that. I'm more concerned about the fact that we don't have enough beavers yet. So I think we just had more babies, so that's good. We'll see more go along, and then we will get that going. Okay, the water wheel is complete, so you can see we are generating power here. And once we have a worker working here, they will be working on developing lumber and planks. So that will allow us to build the forester, which we have enough science that we can unlock that. So we'll click on it, and then we can go up and click on unlock and hit yes. And then we can get our forester over here. So we can click here, and then that will come in. And what we want to do is the next part of that is to click plant trees, and we can tell the forester what type of things to build. And you can see any of these will require a forester to build them. And what we want to do, since we're in the early game, we're going to build a little bit of fast growing things like the birch, and some of these. Okay, let's walk through this. So birch, you can see it takes 7 days to create 1 log. The pine takes 12 days to create 2 logs, but it also, when it's fully mature, will take 7 days to create pine resin. And then the chestnut tree will create chestnuts or logs if you cut it down, and maple will create logs or maple syrup. The oak tree takes the longest, but it is most efficient. So what I want to do is have a mix of birch, which will get us logs pretty quickly. We'll go ahead and let's see, we can only do a small portion there. Let's just do that for now, because I'm also waiting for them to cut down these little ones. And we reached level 5 because now we have carrots that are being provided, and that is really good. We're making progress here. So the next thing I want to do is I want to create more beds, because we currently have 1 free bed, but we will need more as well. And to do that, we either need to build more lodges. We could unlock a bigger lodge for 150 signs, which we can't afford. Or we could come in here to paths and structures, and we can get some of these. Now, the problem with this is that the stairs require planks, and the platform requires planks too. But that's how we could build a second level above this. And like I said, we don't have the planks yet, because now we do have somebody working there. Awesome, they grew up. Way to go, Reek Rody. So we're going to get planks pretty soon, which will allow the forester to get built. And then we can come in and we can start to build our platforms. This will require 70 signs, and that will take 100 signs. So that'll be 170 signs to be able to build a second floor to this apartment building, or like that, a lodge, I guess we should call it, because they are beavers. They live in lodges, and you can see we've got another one of these being cut down. So now we can go ahead and say, all right, well, let's put the birch all the way over to there. And then let's bring a path in between our 2 fields like that, just to help them get around a little bit better. And this guy has broken teeth, so we have an issue we need to deal with. Let's go over to well-being. And for broken teeth, you can build a grindstone. And if we put that in, let's put it right here. That'll get built, and then the person with the broken teeth can fix their broken teeth. We'll also put it as a high priority, so they'll build it before building anything else. We can also check well-being. We can get a campfire and a rooftop terrace. That will provide a little bit of social. And then there are other things in here. I encourage you to maybe pause the video and just go through and look at some of the things you can build, and we can talk about more of them as we need them, but it's also good that you can get an idea. Over here you can see the bad water seeping into the ground, by the way, and that is just a cool little feature of the game as well. And our forester has gotten built. So now we have a forester there who will be planting. There you can see the beech trees. Were they beech or birch? Birch trees being planted. And this beaver is almost done over here. And then we'll get rid of that lumberjack flag, and that beaver will be freed up to do something else. But we do have the points now that we can come in and we can get our wooden stairs. So let's go ahead and unlock that. And that will allow us to build a little stairwell to get up to the second floor here. And I think what we'll do is we'll put it here. And then we're going to need to get the platform next, which will be 100 science points. So that will take us a little bit of time. We're going to just let time go by because we have a good amount of water. It's not a ton. I wish that we had a bit more, but I think we're doing okay on water. And we have plenty of food, so we should be good if we get a drought at any point in here. We have 2 unemployed beavers, so I want to get science a little bit faster, so we're going to build a second inventor here. And that will allow us to get a little bit more science, a little like twice as fast, essentially. And that will really help quite a bit. I want to get this one. Somebody cut that one down, please. Thank you. So now we've got some birch in there. What I want to do is I want to go ahead and have the forester plant oak in the rest of this, because the oak will grow slower but produce way more wood. So I wanted the birch so that we know that we have a steady stream coming through of the wood, but we should also be getting more. The other thing I want to do once we get this stairwell up is, so we're going to build platforms all along here and along here, and then I want to get a second level of carrots stored as well, because we are currently full of carrots and we have a lot more in the ground that are going to go to waste if we can't harvest them before they dry out. So hopefully we get, oh yep, drought is approaching in 3 days. So what I'm going to do is tell these people to prioritize harvesting, which unfortunately, I wonder if we can get another storage thing built in time. We can't get it on top because we won't have the, yeah. What we'll do, we don't have storage for planks either, and planks have to go, they actually go in the big storage. But what we could do is we could start to plan for the next thing that we want to grow. And so what I think I'll do is I'll just go ahead and build a storage over here. Let's put it here, actually. And then I'm going to tell them that they can put not berries, but carrots in there as well. And so as soon as that's built, hopefully we will get the rest of these carrots harvested before the drought. There we go. So they can start storing that. They'll get those harvested, and that will be good. Now, when the drought comes, it is going to stop the flow of water, which will mean our our plank production, which also, by the way, we should get that large pile built for the planks. And I don't want it to be here because I really want to keep that green space. So we'll go ahead and just put it over here. And then we'll need to extend the path and assign planks to that. But once we have like that will stop our plank production when we have a drought. And we are actually, our water level is going down. We're not producing enough water. So after the drought, like we should have enough water to make it through this drought, but after that, we're going to need to get more. And watching these numbers, and that number every day is getting a tiny bit lower. So Damari, you're doing the best you can, but you're not getting enough water out. So we're going to have to deal with that after the drought. We have enough science now, though, that we can come in and we could get this platform unlocked. Yes. And then we can come in here and we want to come along like this. And we're going to build these all along here like that. And then we need to build the path, or like mark the path above it as well. Just bring the path like that and along there. And then we can go ahead and tell it we want to build another level of lodges here. Of course, as we do that, we're going to get more beavers, which will put even more pressure on that water figure. And the drought is about to hit, and we have not gotten all of these carrots, and you can see we've got a lot of these issues. That is because they built those. We had the resources to build the lodges before they finished the pathway to them, so they're mad. This drought is only going to be 1 day, so there's the water dried up. Everything is dry, but these have resistance for 2 days, so they won't die at all. They're going to be fine. And in fact, we can tell them that they can start to plant as well. We're full on carrots entirely. There's no more space for carrots. So that's why they are not harvesting that. But as soon as the water starts again, they will do that. Right now, there isn't anything for our beavers to do. So they're just kind of going to wander around a little bit. Maybe the gatherer could get some berries because there are a little bit that are available there. But I think we're out of space for the berries too. We have plenty of food for quite a while. It's the water that is the issue. So I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll get another water pump going. And we'll put that one, I guess we'll put it over here and bring that path the rest of the way down. And what I want to do is go into storage, and as soon as we can, we need 20 more science. We will go and, we can't build the medium tank because we don't have gears. Here the drought is over, so the water is coming along here again. And we've got enough beavers that both of these water pumps will have somebody working. So we doubled our production of water, but our storage is only so much. And the district, the starting goods, it will not store here. So that's why we're really running out of water. We're going to build a couple more tanks here. We got one there, and then we'll get 2 more here. Actually, no, cancel that one. This one can stay there because it will help them be a little bit faster. But let's put some water tanks here, and the beavers can drink right from those. And in fact, the other thing we could do is we could get a path under here, and we might as well get a path over here too. And then we can put some more water storage in here. Just go like that. So we're going to have plenty of water storage. Yep, I want to mark all of these to water. And we're going to make sure that we are storing plenty of water for the next drought, because we definitely don't want to run out of water. And you can see now that we're getting planks again, because the water is flowing and producing power, we are getting a little bit farther along with our platform here. And that will really get us set up nicely as well. All right, and one of these has been completed, so now we've got space for all of our beavers. And I think this is a good spot to leave you. We made it through the first drought cycle, so that's great. I think if this is all you watch, you are off to a great start. But I want you to know that I have 2 more videos planned for this beginner's guide mini-series. Be sure to hit subscribe if you want to catch those. They will come out over the next couple of weeks. If you're watching this at a later date, then the next one should be on the screen right now. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time. Take care.